Thank you. Thank you all for being here. It's amazing that so many people decide to come and spend their lunch hour with me. I promise you it will not span the entire lunch hour, so you have a little bit of time left over. But I'm really grateful that you all decided to come and be here today. I am holding my phone. It's not because I'm checking Twitter or anything like that. It's because I'm actually controlling my slides through my iPad. All right. So before we begin, of course, we also want to acknowledge that we are on the traditional unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. And so to make sure that we are always in remembrance of what is going on here, and to think about that, as Sigrid mentioned, when it comes to ourselves and our business as well. We can leave the lights on a little bit, that's fine. Yeah, thank you.
See them.
I want to see them. Yes, I want to see their faces. I want to know which ones are, not paying attention, exactly. So I actually have a little bit of history with VCC in two different ways. The first is when I first immigrated to Canada in 1974. Yeah, long time. I turned 50 last year, so this year 51, so I've been here a long time. My mom actually went to VCC to learn English as a new immigrant. And then when I was, I think in my 30s or late 20s, I decided I wanted to teach English, and so I actually came to VCC to take their Teaching English as a Foreign Language program. And that program actually helped a lot of what you're going to hear today, all right? So let's get into it. What is personal branding? My presentation is a little bit different. I will actually talk to you. I'll ask you questions, and feel free to ask questions as well at any time. All right, if you have a question, you're not sure of something, please do put up your hand. Definitely will answer that during the presentation time. So let's actually figure this out. What do you guys think? What is personal branding? Should I just randomly pick somebody and see? What's your name?
Arm.
Arm.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. So personal branding is just when you represent yourself as a brand.
When you represent yourself as a brand. Very good. Any other suggestions as to what personal branding is? That's a great answer. Everybody agreed with you. That's fantastic. Yeah, it is that. It is you representing yourself as a brand, as a business. And nowadays that is incredibly important, simply because no matter what we do, we need to present ourselves in a certain way. And so personal branding is incredibly important. Now, my area of specialty is, of course, with video. And the reason why I talk about video is mainly because of how powerful video is. It is literally everywhere. We can't get away from it at all. But a little bit about how I got here. So my business is called Quan Multimedia. Oh, I'll get to that. Oh, wrong way. I've got to swipe the other way. There you go. One more time. There you go. So Quan Multimedia is a video marketing agency. So what is a video marketing agency? It's a business essentially that helps companies figure out strategically what kind of videos they should be using. So whether it's for sales, it's for marketing, whatever that purpose is, we look at the buying cycle of the customers, and then we think, okay, what kind of videos would fit into that? Right? As opposed to what maybe a videographer or a video production company does, they will typically think about, okay, well, creatively, how can we create this video? So oftentimes I'll work together with videographers, but also I will create the videos myself as well. But essentially the goal is always understanding the business and therefore figure out what their branding is, figuring out why we should buy from them. Right? Hey, come on in. You're just in time for the question. No, I'm just kidding. The test is right now. So the reason why you are here listening to me talk about this is because a little while ago I started a YouTube channel. And since that time, that YouTube channel has grown a bit. It's now gotten up to over 100,000 subscribers. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. The only one person. Thank you. Thank you. You get an A. You pass right away. You pass. You don't have to take the quiz at the end. So it's gotten over 100,000 subscribers. And this is, right, everyone is impressed, but this is why I talk about personal branding. It has been such a huge help to be able to point to that and say, hey, look, this is why you should work with me. Because I have proof that the video thing actually works, right? So this is credibility for me. But it's also a way that you will be able to leverage videos as well. Each and every one of you has that opportunity to do so. So let's talk a little bit about the reasons why. Video, as we know, because it's visual, we're so used to it, What does it do? Like, what do you think is the main reason or the main superpower of video? I'll point to someone and ask.
What I think is like human brain is designed like what we see.
Yes.
We trust more and we learn more from that. Like what I'm saying right now, like the words doesn't make sense. Like it do make sense, but with the
Makes total sense.
yeah, it do make sense for sure. Sorry for that. And when we are presenting like a video in video,
Yes.
like you know, words and video like make totally great thing. Like people understand much more greatly than just the words.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, exactly. So people understand much better, more greatly than with just words. And that is the true power. I'm going to grab this microphone so that if someone does answer, I'll be able to give this to them so that they'll be able to hear. Yeah, that is the exact reason why. It is that connection, is the ability to communicate. Even though we may not say our words as carefully as we do when we're writing them down, we can still understand what the other person is saying. It's how, when I look across this room at how diverse the room is, we're all speaking different languages from different backgrounds, and yet we somehow understand each other because of this connection that we have. And that is the greatest power when it comes to using video, is that ability to connect with people across cultures, across the world. It's really unbelievable how powerful it is. So for me, I'm a huge advocate of using video, not only because it pays the mortgage, but also because it genuinely works. So one thing, the other big reason why video is so important is because of this little thing here. We all know what happened during COVID, that we couldn't connect with each other. We had such a hard time with that whole work from home, being disconnected, not really being able to see people. Even though we had Zoom, it just wasn't the same. So post-COVID, sort of post-COVID, we now have this huge explosion of interest in, again, connecting with each other. So now when I talk to clients, oftentimes they'll say to me, hey, you know, I really want to make videos, but I don't want to show my face. I don't want people to see me. The thing is, we crave that now. We actually really need that now. So that's why this is so important. However, people always have reasons, quote unquote, reasons not to use video, right? I'm too old. I'm too short. I'm too young. I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. I'm too bald, right? All these different reasons, right, that we consider not to use video. But here's the thing. There's something called visibility versus ability. Now, this was taught to me. Actually, let me ask you, what do you think this means? Visibility versus ability.
So visibility is what.
Oh, here. I want everyone to hear you this time.
Okay,
I think it's on, yes.
great. So visibility is like what we see like.
It's not on?
Push the bottom.
Oh, push the button.
Yeah, that's bottom. Push that.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, let's have a look.
Hold it for
Side technology.
Push and hold.
Is it push and hold?
There, now it's on.
So this is the ability. So
Yes, thank you.
visibility is something we see, which is visible.
Yes?
And ability is to do something, have a skill. To do, able to do something is ability, and visibility is simply visible. Whatever is visible is visibility. Being able to do something is ability.
Okay, it's a very good answer. Very good answer. Anybody else have any other idea? Yes, sir.
I feel like ability.
I'll give the mic, Jordan. Hang on a second. I'll run up and give it to you. We know each other. I can do that for you.
Hello. I feel like ability, there's a lot of potential in ability, whereas visibility is much more legit. Like you can see it. Visibility is the first step toward credibility, which could be the next step toward profitability. You may have heard that before. Whereas ability, okay, so you can do a certain skill, great. Show me the proof.
Okay.
Don't tell me, show me. And visibility is a chance to show me.
Great. You're both right. You're both right. The other part of this is the more visible you are, the more people think you're able to do a thing. Think about real estate agents. Real estate agents are everywhere, right? They're on billboards, they're on bus shelters. We don't know who these people are, but because we see them so much, we automatically think that they must be really good at their jobs. Is it really true? Maybe, in some cases. In some cases, maybe not. But that is one of the things about being visible, is that the more visible you are, the more likely it is people think that you are an authority. They think that you know what you're doing, more so than somebody else. So that is the power of being visible. And again, videos offer a way to do that. However, of course, there is a little bit of a step in between making videos and actually doing them, right? Thinking about it and wanting to do it is very different than actually leaving your comfort zone. So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about here. How do we get out of our comfort zone? So for me, this is me.
Jim,
Yes.
can I add one thing?
Yes, absolutely.
You were asking why are reasons we wouldn't do something because we're too this and too that.
Yes.
That's the question that you might think to yourself, I don't have the ability, I don't have the requisite skill to succeed.
I'll give you
I'm
that.
not the best.
Yep.
Like you're judging your competency based on your ability.
Uh-huh.
But really that's not the most important thing. Because most of the people that do this stuff or that we notice, they're not the best actually. They're just the best at marketing themselves and at creating the visibility that they are good.
Yeah.
The people who actually do things the best
Okay.
are probably just doing it by themselves at home and they're maybe too shy to be public about it.
That's all of you guys I know. But you're right. But you're absolutely right. There is that fear of, okay, well, do I need to be, I don't want to say boastful or showing off, but I'm just a modest person. I don't really necessarily need to do this. My response to that is, because we live in such a competitive society, that either it's an employer or a potential client, they have a multitude of choices. If you've already got a well-established reputation, then maybe it's easier to be a little more behind the scenes and do what you do really well and yet still be known for it. But there's still a little bit of a threshold you have to cross where people will get to know you, right? If no one ever knew that you were great at what you did, you'd probably still be just doing great work for yourself. But there is that little bit of a chasm you have to cross and a little bit of a step you have to take in order to make sure that people know who you are and what you do. So visibility is still important because at least it opens the doors to people understanding what your ability is. Without that visibility, it's not possible. And one of the other fears is that I don't want people to see me, I'm too shy, whatever. Well, guess what? We all, when we work with other people, we already see you. We already know exactly what you look like. You don't like your voice? Guess what? We already know what you sound like. You don't like how tall you are, how short, whatever. Guess what? We all already know. Of course, then you should try to present yourself in the best way possible, but there's no hiding that we already can see you. We already know what you look like. So why not take advantage of this tool of presenting yourself and just having people see you and be the one that stands out rather than the one that is maybe doesn't stand out as much, right? Which is fine. There's no, you don't have to do this. But because you're all here, I'm assuming that you're somehow thinking, oh yeah, this could be really valuable to me in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to come and listen to this guy talk about and show pictures of him when he was a child, right? So stepping out of the comfort zone. So everything in life requires a little bit of a risk, right? There's always going to be, even taking this program, I don't know if it's going to work, right? There's always a little bit of a risk involved in that. So same thing. When that middle picture, that's me in high school, when I had hair at one point. But during high school in grade 12, I gave this presentation to the class, and it was about Napoleon. And it was a social studies class. I'd never done this before, ever, but I decided just to do whatever I felt like doing, and so I started emphasizing that Napoleon was a dictator. And so, right, and to this day, you're all adults, and when I was 16, 17, that was funny, and it's still funny. But I realized then that, wow, if you can stand up and present yourself and show yourself in a different way, people will see you differently. After that, everyone saw me in a different way, in a good way. This girl I kind of had a crush on wrote in my yearbook, do something different, take a chance. And that's kind of been my mantra, take a chance, do something a little bit different. What is the harm in failing? I think I failed many times, but I don't really see the failure. I'm kind of blind to it. I just kind of go, oh, you know what? Okay, it didn't work. Just keep going, try something else. All right? That photo on the right is me as a fashion design student. That's why I was like, where are the fashion design students? Because I actually studied fashion design at one of the other schools, not this one, sorry, at one of the other schools in town that starts with a B. I went there. I graduated somehow, miraculously, at the top of the class. They gave me a job teaching sewing skills. No idea why they would do that, but they gave me a job teaching sewing skills. And a little bit of a side note, one of my students was showing me her work. And I looked at it, I thought, okay. I thought to myself, yeah, good luck with that. All right? You know, it's like this athletic wear or whatever. I thought, oh, good luck with that. And she was telling me that she was going to start this business with her partner. And I don't know, I think Lululemon's doing okay now, right? Yeah. Yeah. So video advice, yes. Business advice, maybe not so much, all right? Anyway, so when I came to VCC to study English, I actually was going to go to Taiwan. I was going to go to Taiwan before I met the girl in the photo and realized that I was never going to Taiwan, that instead my life would take me to South Korea. And I went to South Korea, and I was there for 10 years. But when I met her, you'll see I still had hair, and then next photo. Okay. I think she's gotten over it since that time. In any case, taking risks, right? Doing something a little bit different. When I was in South Korea, one of the first things I did, as most people do when they travel to a different country, they work as an English teacher. So that's what I did for the first few years. I also worked at a high school for the last year that I was there. But during that time, I, of course, became a dad, and now my son is as tall as I am. But in 2009, I actually decided, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try to start a business, and I started business being an executive presentations coach. That was my first foray into starting my own business. I thought, you know what, I'm going to teach these people how to give presentation skills, because I realized that people had trouble communicating. They didn't really understand how to communicate with their audience, understand the audience, do all the stuff that I'm doing here now, check the videos after to see if it actually works. But my first client was Korean Air. Korean Air said to me, hey, you're working with our executives and our managers. Can you find some videos on YouTube to show them how to give presentations? And I said, well, it's not 2023, it's 2009. There really aren't any videos right now. So guess what? I'll make the videos. I said, I'll make the videos. So I did. I started making videos. This is the very, very first video that I released. It's still on YouTube to this day. This was me in 2009 talking about presentation skills. You actually can't hear that, can you? No, okay, don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. The point is, all of us start at some point like this, right? Later on, I ended up being featured in the newspaper. They had some feature on me as well. This is in 2011. And it just kept growing from there. Eventually, my goal was to actually work in radio and TV. And so I did that. I was able to I had my own TV show for a couple of years. I still don't know why they gave me the show, but they did. One of them was to teach new foreign teachers how to work in the public school system. So I did this. I also did another program just about English communication skills, and also was on a radio program, a few different radio programs as well. On top of that, I was almost a full-time voice actor. So I was working quite a lot. It was really great. Here are some of my clients that I worked with, right? Some pretty major companies. But I was always incredibly careful. And what was I careful about? I was really careful about my personal brand, because everything relied on me literally bringing home, money for the family. And also, I was living in a foreign country. I was not a citizen there. They were only welcoming me there because I was able to, offer a skill that they needed. They could have easily just said, sorry, bye-bye. I've had friends that had that happen, where they lost their ability to stay in the country. So I was always very grateful, but I was also very careful about my personal branding. Why? Because the moment you ruin it, guess what? it's really hard to get it back unless you move across to another country or something like that. You might be able to start again. But with the internet being what it is now, it's so easy to Google whatever your name is, to find out something about you, to dig something up, right? People do that. I used to help a client of mine with hiring. We would do that. We'd Google people and find out who they were, and we'd like, oh, sorry, rejection, right? It happens. So very, very carefully, I always did this. Now, in 2015, I decided to come back to Canada. When I came back to Canada, I had literally nothing. I'd been away for 10 years. I left at the end of 2004. I came back 10 years later. All my friends, at that time, I was like 45 years old or something like that, 43, I think it was. And all my friends had already lived their lives and done all the things. They really didn't care about me anymore. So I had no network whatsoever. So the only way I could build my business back up and start over was to rely on my personal brand. I literally was like saying to people, hey, this is what I do. Here's like my YouTube channel. I had clients that literally would say, oh, I saw that you make YouTube videos. I saw your video on YouTube. Can you come help us with our channel, with our videos as well? And I started to grow it that way. That's how my personal brand was able to carry me through and able to do what I'm doing now. And of course, stand here in front of you. Now, I mentioned earlier about the stats that I had. Now, these are just some of the videos that have gotten quite a few views. Why do I show this to people? Yeah, it's to show off a little bit, but at the same time, I show it because I say, hey, you know what? You want to see if I can do this? Here you go. Here's proof, right? And that's kind of what I want to talk about with you guys as well. How do we demonstrate our ability, right, as we're building our visibility, but how we demonstrate our ability, right? So that's how I came up with this whole video marketing thing. Right? What is video marketing? Again, as I told you before, it's just helping business figure out how to use videos to make money. But why should we be on YouTube? There are a lot of choices, right? There are plenty of choices for video content, social media content. Right? Why YouTube? Does anyone know why we should be on YouTube? Yes, the people that do the videos.
YouTube is the most...
Whoa. Hang on a second. Save that so everyone can hear it.
Okay.
Thank you for helping me get my steps today.
I would think that YouTube is the most well-known for all the generations. So even my parents who are the baby boomers know about YouTube and can easily search for videos on YouTube. So you have a larger target audience on YouTube.
Very good answer. Anybody else? And for a why YouTube? Yes.
I said that you can make money with.
You can make money with YouTube. Yes, absolutely. Another good reason. Anybody else?
I think touched on a little bit, but SEO.
SEO. If anyone's not familiar with SEO, this is not the lecture for that. No, but seriously, SEO, search engine optimization, meaning that when people are searching for you, right, having something on YouTube makes it easier to be found. Okay. Anybody else? Why YouTube? I love the whistling.
Also,
Thank you.
YouTube, you can do long videos versus social media. Everything's like shorts at this point, so YouTube can get a lot more information across.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Those are all amazing answers. Anybody else? Okay. Whew, good thing you didn't say the ones that I was going to talk about. But YouTube, the other thing about YouTube, I'm pretty sure most of you may know that Google owns YouTube, right? Google owns YouTube. It is the world's second largest search engine behind Google. Why is that important? Well, anything that you can find on Google, you'll find on YouTube. If someone is looking for graphic designer, fashion designer, some sort of field that you're trying to get into, maybe it's for logo design, maybe it's for website design, maybe it's for whatever it could be, if they are searching, YouTube videos, often you'll see, when you guys search yourselves, you'll see YouTube videos pop up at the top of the search results, right? And that's because the algorithms favor videos. The other reason why YouTube is so powerful is because YouTube is now actively trying to find an audience for you. No other platform does that. TikTok doesn't do that, Instagram doesn't do that, Facebook doesn't do that. None of the other platforms do that. They do not try to help you. So as an example, some real estate clients of mine, they are recently trying to post videos, say, hey, you know what? Let's post videos more that are related to home improvement, because YouTube is looking at the whole home area right, home services area to try and show your video. So if you're posting something about graphic design, it could be related to business branding as well. It could be related to other areas, right? So YouTube is actively trying to help you get found and get noticed. So that's one of the other reasons. Someone touched on making money with YouTube. Do you know what the top 3 money-making topics are on YouTube? Anybody know?
Yes.
You can guess? Okay. Okay, we'll give you a chance to guess. Yes? What do you think?
This is marketing.
Business marketing, I wish.
Okay. Second is people are looking for like anything related to beauty.
Oh, beauty content, okay. Yes.
And also food.
Food, yes.
Music
Music, okay.
is a big deal.
Okay, one more maybe, do you know? There's like 2 more that you kind of almost got. Okay, let's see if anyone else knows. Sorry, sorry. Who was that? I totally missed who it was. Oh, funny videos. Funny videos, okay. Entertainment, right? I hear people talking, rumbling. Yes.
Like how to do stuff, instructional videos?
Instructional videos, absolutely. DIY videos are fantastic. The 3 top categories are actually personal finance, tech, and health and beauty. Any of those make the most money, so we're all screwed. No, I'm not kidding. That's not the case. Actually, what you mentioned is really correct. The how-to, right? How do we do something? So there are 3 channels here from 3 different categories, right? I'm sure you guys, oh, look at that. Look, I chose the right ones, all right? Will Patterson, right? You're all clapping for Will Patterson. Is that here? Yes? Think about it. When he started, if you've ever seen his first videos, they were not that great. But over time, he's learned to be better. He's kept doing it. I mean, he's a, interesting looking fellow. He's not like, he's not Tom Cruise handsome or anything like that. He's not Brad Pitt or anything. But, he gets the word out. He teaches people something valuable. He's able to present himself in a way that people would relate to, that they want to learn from, right? 777,000 subscribers. The middle person, does anyone know who that is? I thought the fashion design people would be here, that's why I put that up. But she teaches fashion design, okay? All she does is show how she makes patterns, how to do things. Maybe it's learning tools, right? There's one called Every Tuesday, a YouTube channel called Every Tuesday, where they are just talking about Procreate nowadays, using Procreate. Before, it used to be a lot more about Photoshop and Illustrator and whatever else, but now it's just focused on a specific tool. You can do that as well. These are all options available to you, but I'll talk a little bit about how you can do that, all right? So we know why YouTube is great. We know why videos are great. Does anyone have any comments or questions before I press on? Sorry?
Fitness?
Fitness videos, yes. Those are also fantastic. It's in the health and wellness category, so fitness is another one. It's free, yes. It's free. That is probably one of the biggest factors when it comes to YouTube as well, is that we literally have, right, a powerful video camera in our hands. When I first started making videos for YouTube, guess what I used? An iPhone 4. Right? You're all laughing, like, who has an iPhone 4? Well, I used to make videos on my iPhone 4 when I was visiting my clients, like Samsung or whoever. They would give me a room to work with their executives, and before they came or after they came, I would stay in the room, put up my camera, put up my microphone, get everything ready, make my videos. Then on the way home in the subway, I would edit them in iMovie on my phone. And then I would publish them because they had Wi-Fi on the subways in Seoul, and I was able to publish my videos directly from the subway. So that's how I started making these videos, and I just kept doing it. I kept thinking, okay, what is the problem that I'm trying to solve for people, right? Is it how to introduce yourselves, right? One of my videos that's really popular over the last few years is how to introduce yourselves in 60 seconds. Seems like a really simple topic, but it's gotten over 1.4 million views because people want to know these simple things. There is obviously more technique to it, but that is the gist of it, that you can literally leverage this free tool that is trying to help you because, let's be honest, they make money from the ads, right? The more people that watch the videos, they make more money. So of course they want to help creators and people like yourselves to be found, to be noticed. So why not do it? So how can you do it? typically when I work with clients, there are 4 types of videos that I always recommend. So I kind of adapted them for you as students, as potential business owners, possibly, of your own personal brands, of your own companies. So the first one is a self-introduction. Hey, you came for the best part, thank you. So self-introduction. This video typically would be about maybe 60 to 90 seconds long. Essentially, you just want people to know who you are, what you do, why you do it. Oftentimes, people say, well, I want to tell my whole personal story. Well, we need to think about who we're talking to. So if it is a potential employer, if it is a potential client that I want to freelance, maybe it's people in a certain industry. So maybe I want to target people who are, I don't know, in the motorcycle industry, for example. I love motorcycle racing, I want to target motorcycle racing brands, whatever, and create all the livery for all the motorcycles, right? So I want to somehow mention that my specialty is whatever. So let's say I would say, hi, my name is Carl Kwan. I'm a graphic designer who specializes in creating motorcycle livery. And maybe you would then show some examples of your work, something like that. And then, of course, you want to always include, at the end of these things, some way for them to do something next. Oftentimes, videos fail because there's no call to action. So a call to action might be, here's my email. Get in touch with me. Maybe you want a free 15-minute consultation. Whatever your call to action is, you can test it out. You can make multiples of these, right? You can always hide them later on. I mean, I think I've got like over 700-800 videos on my YouTube channel, and most of them that you maybe not be able to see because those are the only ones I really don't want you to see. But you can test and do things like that. Okay, so self-introduction, number 1, definitely need it. Number 2 is something that will educate people now. As we mentioned, how-tos, right? This is another way for you to demonstrate your knowledge about your particular area of specialty. So maybe you're really, really amazing at a certain thing in Photoshop, right? Maybe you're really good at it, or you just happen to love that, or let's say you totally suck at it, and you want to learn how to do it better. And you can make videos about that. You can say, how I learned to do this, even though I totally sucked at it. You want to show that journey. People want to see that you are just like them, that you have had the same struggles that they have had as well, or that they are currently having. They want to learn from you, they'll root for you, they'll be your community. Make videos that teach people something, whether it's DIY, whether it's answering questions. Maybe it's like, hey, what is it like to be a graphic design, fashion design, jewelry design student at VCC? What's it like in one of my classes? I'm sure your instructors will be totally fine with you filming stuff. Check with them first. But sure, right? People will find those interesting. So there's so many different ways for you to present yourself out into the world using video content. Now, another one. Let's say you have different types of projects, topics, subjects, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe a specialty you're really interested in. Maybe it is designing tattoo art. Maybe it is hair design, whatever it might be, like illustrations, watercolor. It doesn't really matter what it is. If you know that that is what you like, go for it. Talk about those things. If you're trying to target a particular industry, if you think there's a certain business that could use this information, that you really want to work for an agency that does work in a particular field with models, for example, in the fashion industry, right? So maybe you target them. How do you create personal branded logos for these particular people, right? Show that that's what you like to do, right? Create content related to that, right? Now you can also talk about what you actually do, your services. Okay, hey, I can create logos and, brochures and whatever else that you're doing, whatever you're passionate about. Tell people what your services are. So we've got 4 different categories of videos that you can be creating all sorts of content around. Which one is right? There isn't really a wrong one. The self-introduction is always a really good one to have if you don't have it. For some people that are really well established, maybe they don't really need that because people already know who they are, but it's never a bad idea to have one of these, okay? Now, of course, I'm not going into the whole technical aspect of creating the videos in terms of what you use and all that. Feel free to ask me if you would like to reach out and ask me those kind of questions. But one thing you can do is really think about what area you want to specialize in, right? So let me go around the room a little bit here. We have a little bit of time. Yeah, perfect. What area would you like to specialize in for your work or business?
Oh, I don't know. I would maybe find like a little niche or, I don't know, like a how-to.
Okay, sure. How-to things about certain topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that has a target industry they want to work in? Yes.
Sports.
Sports. Fantastic. Right? Amazing. Anybody else? Yes. Of course. I like that you wore a suit as well.
Thank you. So, right now I'm taking aesthetics,
Okay.
and I want to be aesthetician,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to, make videos related to my, my customers coming in and how I do my treatments, and it can be anything like even, facial,
Yeah.
anything. Like,
Anything.
Like even describing about any product.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
So these are my instructions right here. They are.
Give this person an A.
So I'm learning so much from them.
Great.
So the way they are describing right
He's really working for that A.
So yeah, I'm learning a lot of them. The way they're explaining, I can learn, and same I can do in my videos, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's incredibly powerful. I mean, there's really no wrong way to do it. Really, it's getting started and trying to do it, all right? So figuring out what your specialty is, what your niche is, something like that. So this is a little bit long. Please go ahead and read it. But I often like to quote someone that I, obviously, right? Who in design does not, at one point, have, some sort of enjoyment of learning about, this gentleman here, right? So this is really important, right? You'll know when you find it. So I encourage all of you, after listening to all this that I've talked about today, think about what your it is. It can change. Don't worry. You're not stuck with it. But think about that. What is it that you can really be good at? For me, it was about being able to talk to people, right? Being able to communicate, help other people communicate. I didn't tell you one part of the story, which is when I was a kid, because we're immigrants, my parents didn't speak English. I mean, my dad still kind of sucks at it, to be perfectly honest. But other than talking about, hockey, gambling, or the horses, everything else is kind of difficult for him, okay? Right? Still to this day, right? We've been here for, 40x number of years, right? Well, for almost 50 years now. And it's still a struggle. But when we were kids, it was even harder. Because imagine Vancouver, you guys weren't here maybe, but in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot more racism. It was a lot more difficult to be a minority back then. So my parents really struggled with dealing with people who weren't very nice to them, right? So I saw that. And so for me, growing up, I always thought, how do I help these people? How can I help them? When I was living in South Korea, the crazy thing is that everyone that I met, all the students that I had, they all had a very similar dream. I want to improve my whatever skill, communication, English, presentation, whatever it was, to have a better life for my family. And I was like, oh my God, all of you are just like my mom and dad when we came from Hong Kong, right? It's the exact same thing. So for me, that's what my it is, to always find a way to offer value and help other people to become better at what they do. So I encourage you to also do the same. And if you ever want to share with me what that is, please feel free to do so. All right? Thank you. Thank you very much. We still have time for questions. So if anyone has any questions for me, don't all raise your hand. Yes, sir. And we'll get you. Get my steps in. Hang on a second here. There you go.
So I was just kind of wondering about, so YouTube Premium, right?
Yep.
People will buy YouTube or pay for a subscription, and then they don't have to watch any ads. How does that actually work for revenue for people who have ads on their videos?
Sure, that will definitely impact it. I think that for the most part, the majority of people, I mean, like, who here has a YouTube Premium subscription? Raise your hand. Not as many as I thought, right? Really, there aren't that many. Right? So there will still be opportunities because even if it's not there, right, YouTube will always help you because someone's paying, right? It is a little bit more difficult, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would really just think about, okay, the overall general, everyone else is going to watch, for free in some way. So I really wouldn't worry too much about, people who are not watching the ads, right? The main thing also is, let's not focus just on, I'm going to make money from YouTube. I'm going to be a YouTuber and make a lot of money. Be whatever you're going to be in your profession first. YouTuber can come second as an offshoot of what you do, to support what you do. right? That's our whole personal branding thing, is that we want to use that tool as a way to support what we do, not be who we are. So we can still be the graphic designers, the estheticians, the fashion designers, whoever we are, and use this as a tool. So focus on that first, and then the rest will come.
I can also add to the whole YouTube ad revenue thing. Most YouTubers don't just rely on YouTube ad revenue. They have Patreons, they have merchandise, they have other services that they offer. So the best way, if you really want to go for YouTube, have like multiple sources of income.
For sure. That is one thing. If you notice, a lot of the big YouTubers, they try to get you off of YouTube, right? Buy my course, buy my free, packs, LUT packs, or whatever, design packs, or colors, or palettes, or whatever, right? They try to get you off of there to market you in other ways, right? It's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is. Definitely, that's great. Any other questions? Yes, Sigrid.
Yeah, we have a group of students graduating in July, pretty soon, and they have practicum with different design companies in town. Our graphic design students in June, and they're working. I believe they're working on their video right now. It's already done. Yeah. Okay, I was going to ask you what advice, but maybe you could still give some advice on how to market yourself to a potential employer with video if you're looking for a job.
Sure. If you have a particular employer in mind, that is the #1 rule of presenting, is to think about your audience, right? Who are you talking to? Make sure you communicate your correct message to them so they know that you're actually focused on talking to them as opposed to being very scattered with what your message is. So if you do some research. Understand who their clients are, understand their industry, understand what is coming up in their industry as far as trends, where money is coming from, where things are going. If you can communicate that, right? Because honestly, if you think about it, what you guys do, oftentimes people think, well, I can find it anywhere. It's like we were saying earlier, so many people do it. I mean, there are all of you in here, plus all the other graduates, plus people like my friend Natalie, who is a professional graphic designer already, right? Who is a grad from here as well, right? So sorry for calling you out, but right, there is a lot of competition. So if you can demonstrate that you understand them, maybe you understand their challenges, understand what's happening for them in their industry, how can you offer value to them? That will help you, right? If you start creating content additionally, in addition to what you're already doing for your project here, creating additional content that can show some relevance, something that they can say, hey, yep, I see that you understand that or you know about that, great. YouTube is a great way to share things as well. You can create playlists and share that playlist with people if you don't have a website yet, right? You can do that as well. Okay? Helpful? Yeah? Anything else?
Can you talk quickly about YouTube Shorts?
Oh.
How you use it?
Yes.
Whether it's worth pursuing, kind of what's going on?
Yes, yes, and yes. It's absolutely worth pursuing. It is an incredible tool, YouTube Shorts. Everyone knows what YouTube Shorts are, I'm sure, right? So YouTube Shorts, they are being monetized now as well, where if you have a certain number of views, I believe it is 4,000 subscribers and it's 1,000 and 4,000 hours. I can't remember the numbers exactly, but you can monetize those. YouTube Shorts are incredibly powerful because of our attention spans, right? We have short attention spans. However, you don't want to rely entirely on that Shorts vertical format forever, because there is a chance that it will go away because it is not the traditional way that we view cinema. TV shows are not filmed like this, right? Nothing on Netflix will be filmed like this, right? Not yet. Not yet, right? But at some point, even TikTok may go away within the next year or so, from what I've heard. You can probably see in the news, right? All these sources of these vertical videos, YouTube is another one. However, it is great to be on there. So take whatever you've created and just repurpose it, right? Cut it into the shape that you need, the vertical shape that you need. When you're making your videos, be a little bit more further back maybe when you're shooting so that you can have the ability to crop in a little bit, all right? There are so many technical things related to that, but yes, absolutely go for it, but don't rely on it completely. Use it as, again, another supplement. Use it in conjunction together with your regular video content. Good? Oh, one more. Yeah, yes, sir. Yanni.
I was hoping to see some of the video clients that you worked on.
That I've worked on for my business or for my YouTube channel? Have a look at my website. There's some videos there. There's probably actually a lot more that I don't even put on there, but please feel free if you want to see anything, let me know. You can always go to the website and see some of the work there. On my YouTube channel as well. That one, I think I do have a YouTube channel for my business as well. You can look for that one there. It's a lot smaller than my regular one, but it is there. Natalie.
And your Instagram.
My Instagram.
His Instagram too.
Thank you. Instagram, thank you. I probably pay much less attention than she does, but thank you. But yeah, you can have a look at those. There are actually a lot of projects. So as someone that makes videos for other people, I often don't put them onto my YouTube channel because I actually worry about having duplicate content. So if that client is in a certain industry and they're being found for that particular type of content, I don't want YouTube to say, hey, you know what, Carl's YouTube channel is actually more popular, so I'm going to show the video that he has of you instead of your main video, right? So I oftentimes don't put that. I'll have it maybe on like a Vimeo page instead, where you'll see some of the other work there. I'll put some work there. If you go to Vimeo and look for my name, you'll probably find some work there that isn't on my YouTube channel. Okay. Yes, Jordan.
As I look around the room, I see a lot of graphic design students, and I'm wondering if some of them might be on the fringe of, oh, I want to start, I'm not sure where to start, and I wonder if there's something you could say today as like a good first step that they could take for those that are thinking about doing it, that are just need that extra nudge.
Think about what your motivation is, right? We all are motivated by something different. I was motivated by helping other people, paying the bills, right? What is your motivation? Why are you doing what you are doing? Once you realize that and are very clear about that, it's a little bit easier to take that first step. You also will maybe need some support from people, right? Look to others for inspiration as well. Hey, you know what, if I can do it, you can do it, kind of idea, right? Honestly, if I can do it, anybody could do it. So look for inspiration. Think about what your own personal motivations are, what your personal why might be, but also realize that nothing comes without taking that first step. And people are rooting for you. If they see that you have good content, they're not, you know, sure, there are people that are trolls, but they're really few and far between, right? The people that are actually supportive, they're just like you, they're trying to do what you're doing, they will look at you as being brave. You know, maybe that's not your goal, but your goal might not be to inspire other people, but at least for yourself, you've always got that. At least think about, again, what your own personal motivation is, what your own personal enjoyment might be from it as well, your passions, like Mr. Jobs was saying, right? What is it that will make you want to do it all the time? So, all right?
Start by introducing yourself.
Yeah, start by introducing yourself. I mean, it's like I said, you know, when should I start a YouTube channel, right? Well, you know, 15 years ago, like when Carl started or whatever, right? But the other time, like planting a tree, then the other time is today. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me, all right?